So then my classmate was like, oh man, that's not what everyone else is saying. So I'm like, what is everyone else saying?
Mr. Hines?
I turn around and there she is, the vice principal, Miss Appletree, which is what we're gonna call her, of course. Mr. Hines, may I please have a word with you outside? Instantly, I shit myself because this woman was terrifying, like genuinely a scary person. So before we start today's video, I feel like I should address something. Something new is in this room, something golden. Oh, that was ugly. That was an ugly ass. What the fuck was that? I don't even fucking know. But hey man, I just want to say thank you so much because of your love and support. Oh, you can see yourself in this, huh? You see a little can. But yeah man. We presented a young Don the Sauce God for passing 1 million subscribers. But this might as well say the Sauce Squad because that's what this is. This is a representation of you guys that I can now hang up in my room, or I'll probably give it to my mom or my dad, probably my mom, because I did not get them a degree, so this is gonna have to work, you feel me? Ah man, but yeah, also yeah, I bleached my hair, get the fuck over it. Anyway, let's start today's video. So the other day I was chilling, you know, trying to think of what I should talk about next, when it occurred to me that about a year ago I told you guys a story that there was a part 2 to that you never got. So that's what we're doing today. So just under a year ago, I told a story called I Stole His Crush and Broke Her Heart. It's one of my more popular stories, and I'll link to it on the screen and in the description, so go ahead and watch it if you haven't. It makes this video a lot better, but I'll give you the Spark Notes version just in case you ain't got time for all that shit. So back in like the 5th grade, there was this annoying ass kid in my class that we gonna call Jeff, and one day he decided to roast me, said I had a big head or something like that, which, although true, still pissed me off. So I decided to get my revenge. How so, you ask? Well, Jeff had made it very public that he was in love with this girl in our class named Mary. So I was like, skirt, you done fucked up. I'ma take your girl, boy. So you know, I put on my young suave real quick and I was like, hey Mary, wanna be my girlfriend? And then she was like, okay. Because that's all it really takes to get a girl when you're 8. Anyway, we start holding hands and shit, you know, made Jeff jealous, and mission accomplished, right? Not quite, because now I had a different problem. For some inconceivable reason, Mary somehow thought that I liked her, right? I don't know how, whatever. Okay, so I'm like, no, baby girl, my sweet Mary, you were merely a pawn, a small cog in my machine of revenge. That is all you ever were to me. If you can't tell by now, this is one of those stories where something bad happens to me and I deserved it. Anyway, I start trying to dodge her, right? Eventually, I face the music, and in front of the entire playground, I basically broke up with her, told her that I didn't like her. She ain't like that too much, understandably, so she kicked me in my nuts. Yeah, she kicked me in my nuts, and that was the end of the video. 2.3 million views. Beautiful. So here's what happened next. Oh my fucking God. Mary, what the fuck? Was the sentiment that I'm sure I wanted to express after managing to stand up after being kicked in the dick. But I'm sure what I actually said went more along the lines of, ow, that hurt. And that's probably all I said. Anyhow, Mary turns around and is like, what? And then I said the most gangster that 8-year-old Don Hines could think of. I'ma tell on you. And then she was like, huh? And then I was like, I said, bitch. I didn't say bitch. I'm gonna tell on you. And as soon as your dad comes to pick you up, I'm gonna tell him that you kicked me in my nuts. And as soon as I said that, Mary's whole vibe took a complete 180. She was like, Donna, weird. You can't do that. If you tell my daddy, I'm gonna beat me. And then I was like, yeah, that really sounds like a you problem right about now. Mary looks at me and she just starts to cry. Like real crying though. Like she was doing the whole you know that ugly ass sound that kids make when they cry? You know, before they learn how to bottle up all of their emotional pain and just shove it deep down and just keep it there until it manifests itself as some self-destructive behavior like drug addiction or binge drinking. You know, like how an adult is supposed to deal with their problems. That scene would have been a lot more dramatic if the glass fucking broke. Fucking bullshit. Of course it would break now, you motherfucker. Still, couldn't give less of a fuck. Like, did she really think that I would care? All of our parents hit us. I mean, how else is a grown adult supposed to handle their frustration with their small, young, immature child that has literally no life experience than to physically assault them? It's not like that's gonna leave any lifelong emotional scars or dysfunction or anything like that. Anyway, I don't care. So I'm sitting on the bench, right, sipping on a bagged beverage. Just in case you didn't catch that, where I'm from, you can literally buy juice in a bag anywhere, which is probably my favorite way to contain all of my beverages. I wish they sold bag juice in America. It's so convenient. Bag juice in one hand, beef patty in the other. Getting hard. Pause. Anyway, so I'm chilling, right? And Mary is just having a fit. Like, she was really scared for her life, which, in hindsight, I think I get now. You see, like most people, my parents spanked me as a child, but they never really abused me. Like, I'm sure my dad would spank me with like 10% of his strength, just enough to get the message across. There are actually parents that hit their children with their full adult strength. And Mary was Indian Jamaican to be exact, and I've had a few close Indian Jamaican friends, and based on their stories, apparently their parents do not play around with the belt. Now, I don't know if this was the case for her or if she was just being extra, but based on her behavior, you would have sworn that she knew for a fact that her father was going to murder her. Still didn't really care. I just wanted to give you the full context of the story. Anyway, so as I'm waiting for her father to arrive, my dad shows up. Ah, shit. Well, down the drain that plan went. I hopped in my dad's whip and he took me home. And of course, I didn't tell him because I wanted the most bang for my buck. And I knew my dad wasn't going to strike the fear into her soul like her father was going to. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just let it go. Again, I was a piece of shit. And if that's what you're thinking, I agree with you. So I go home and fast forward to the next day, and it is a brand new day, baby. My nuts had made a full recovery. Probably had my favorite school morning breakfast. Boiled hot dogs, fried eggs, fried plantains with some white bread on the side. Terrible nutrition. Tasted great though. We didn't know better. Fast forward and I'm getting dropped off at school and I was late because that was just my childhood. All right, we're not gonna get into this right now. I was just late a lot. So I'm walking into class and everyone's of course already seated, and I noticed that everyone was kind of staring at me funny. So I'm like, all right, y'all just gonna be weird? All right. So I sit down and then one of my classmates turns to me and is like, Don, what did you do to Mary? So I'm like, huh? What you mean what I do to Mary? I ain't do shit to Mary. I mean, yes, I did technically break her heart, destroy her fragile childhood self-esteem, and embarrass her in front of all of her peers on the playground. But, you know, I ain't do shit to her, technically. So then my classmate was like, oh man, that's not what everyone else is saying. So now I'm like, what is everyone else saying?
Mr. Hines?
I turn around and there she is, the vice principal, Miss Appletree, which is what we're gonna call her, of course. Mr. Hines, may I please have a word with you outside? Instantly, I shit myself because this woman was terrifying, like genuinely a scary person. For one, she was tall, which all adults look tall when you're 8, but she was like for real tall for a lady, and she was just scary, alright? She was just not a nice person. She reminds me of what a stereotypical Catholic school nun is supposed to be like in movies. Like, that was her in real life, minus the beaten children, of course. So I follow her outside and I'm already scared. Like, my eyes were already watery, my ears were hot, I was sweating. I knew something bad was about to happen. So now we're standing in the middle of the playground, and if you were to look at a map of this school, it was actually very small. Like, there were 6 classrooms, the 2 bathrooms, the principal's office, and the playground, and like the cafeteria area. And we were standing dead center in the playground. Mind you, everyone is in their classrooms right now, so basically every child could see and hear what was about to go down. So, can you tell me something, Mr. Hines? What is this that I am being told that you hit Mary? What? I get to school this morning, and the first thing that I am being told is that yesterday you hit Mary and made her cry. Now, I didn't know you like to hit girls, Mr. Hines. Wait, what? Whoa, I did not hit her. So tell me why she was crying and why I am hearing that you are to blame. So at this point, I was like, okay. I see what's going on here. This has just been some miscommunication, a little telephone game syndrome. I'll clear this up right away. Actually, Miss Appletree, I never touched Mary. In fact, Mary kicked me in the nuts. So that happened, and after she did that, I told her that I was gonna tell her dad on her, and apparently she thought that he was gonna hit her or something. So that's why I think she was crying. So you do like to hit women? Wait, what? Obviously, you couldn't hit her yourself, so you wanted her father to hit her. I'm not sure what's happening right now. You know, Mr. Hines, this is very disappointing. I thought you were a much better young man than this, but apparently, you are a woman beater. This conversation actually happened. I shit you not. Now, unfortunately, when I was growing up, you were taught never to talk back to an adult, especially someone like a vice principal. So I just stood there and took this verbal onslaught from this scary ass woman, just holding back the tears as my classmates watched in amusement. And I'm just there feeling like, what the fuck? Why is this grown ass woman yelling at me, calling me a woman beater? I don't even know what that really means yet. Bitch, I'm 8. Why do I feel like she's projecting her own personal issues onto me? Also, why are we not addressing the fact that Mary kicked me in my nuts? Is that not worth mentioning? You're yelling at me for something that I didn't do, that she actually did. Why is that okay that she kicked me in my nuts? Is it because she's a girl and I'm a boy? That doesn't seem fair. Where's my ribbon? Where's my hashtag? Hashtag my dick matters, okay? Plus, we're 8, which basically means that we're practically the same physically. Same height, same strength, everything. If she took 2 weeks of karate class, she could kick my ass. What is going on right now? But anyway, Miss Appletree continues with her rant, and then she wraps it up with the typical, I don't want to hear about anything like this happening again with you, Mr. Hines. Do you understand me? So of course, I was like, yes, ma'am. And then I went back to class where I had to sit in my shame for the rest of the day. That was fucked up. That woman should not have handled the situation the way that she did. Not with a child. Come on, man. But that's karma, right? What I did to Mary was pretty fucked up. I tried to use her, well, I did use her to get at someone else. And granted, I was 8, you know, you're not really a person when you're 8. I'm not sure if I knew better at the time, you know, it was still wrong. And I'm sure that somewhere deep down, I knew that I was not being honest. I knew I was being deceptive in my actions. I'm also sure that I knew that there was just something's not right about an adult hitting a kid, hitting a child. I'm sure everyone feels that, you know? as a child and even as an adult, you know, maybe in the heat of a moment when you hit a kid as a form of punishment, you feel justified. But, you know, I don't think either of my parents ever enjoyed hitting me. And again, my parents never fucking hit me all the time. I don't want to paint that picture. You know, I tell you guys the most exciting stories. I'm not going to tell you every time my dad took me for fucking ice cream. Like, you know, I'm going to tell you when that nigga beat my ass. But, you know, I'm sure when it did happen, the times it did happen, I'm sure they didn't really feel too good about it. They just did it because that's what was done to them. That's what they knew. That's how they were disciplined as children. So the cycle continues. But the point I'm making is that I'm sure that, you know, I knew that wasn't right. I knew that wasn't cool that, you know, Mary's dad was going to hit her. And even though I'm sure I knew that, even back then at 8, I allowed the pain and embarrassment that came with being kicked in the nuts in front of everybody, which although wasn't right of her either, I kind of fucking deserved it, really, at that point. I used that pain and embarrassment to say, fuck it, I don't care what happens to her. When, at the end of the day, that whole situation was my doing. And ultimately came back to bite me in the ass twice. So, yeah. I guess the moral of today's story is just be honest. Be honest in your intentions. When you do something, make sure it's coming from a genuine place. And fellas, if you tell a girl you like her, make sure it's because you like her and not just because you're trying to, you know. Yeah, that doesn't ever lead to anything good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Boulevard Forever.
Yeah, got no time for the nonsense. Ain't no telling what my time is. Yeah. So I'ma ride to my diamonds, let it shine like a diamond. Yeah, got no time for the nonsense. Ain't no telling what my time is. Yeah.